Now, I've done a lot of LEGO hauls in the past, and I've gotten some very cool pieces from those LEGO hauls. And I thought, why not show all those cool pieces off in a video? I've got this bag full of newer, I'd say early 2000s to now, cool pieces, and then some other older vintage cool pieces that I have. So, without further ado, let's look at all these very cool pieces that I have got in LEGO hauls before. And starting with the newer pieces, there's just a ton of stuff here. And so I guess I'm just going to sift through it and show you some cool stuff. This is a very nice motorcycle, I believe from a Marvel set. We have some other cool pieces, some nice wooden walls, which I believe went to some old Knight sets. This, which goes, I think, also to a Marvel thing, on a very nice 9x9 or 6x6 tile. There's a mech, which is actually almost complete. I should try and build that up. There's some other cool stuff. Some of those cooler things being this very nice net, which is a very cool piece. It's a like a rubbery plastic. We also have this, which goes to a T16 Skyhopper Lego set. Just some other common, or not so common pieces, I should say, that I thought were interesting. This wing piece, which I believe is Chima. This motorcycle, which is also Chima, and that's cool. That's a very hard and heavy metal wheel on there with some rubber on it. I think that's interesting. This weird looking thing, I forget what that goes to, but that's a pretty cool piece. There's some other stuff in here, like a conveyor belt, which it only comes in a couple sets, but it's a pretty useful piece in mocks, and is a pretty cool thing as well. And I just picked out some pretty cool pieces so we didn't have to go digging for them. This weird frontline news like mailbox. There's some Ninjago spinners. I have, I believe, a Sensei Wu and then two Kai. This is a train front. I don't have any train sets, so I thought that was cool. This piece, which is this very nice tube, you can see you can't see through it really, but it is a tube. And there's this piece to a General Grievous's Starfighter, an old Toys R Us piece from that big what do you call him? Giraffe. I forget his name, which I should remember. This little gargoyle thing, I think that went to a Harry Potter set. There's this big bucket, which goes to a fire set. It's like one of those buckets that would scoop up water and drop them on like a forest fire. There's this, which is a pullback motor or not motor, pullback like launcher, I guess you could call it, for an old Technic set. I'm going to actually use that in a mock, hopefully sometime soon. There's some other stuff like this dragon's leg, or foot, I should say, which is cool. There's just some other interesting stuff in here. This big piece here. And there's just a lot of interesting stuff that I have here that I am not really showing too much because there's a ton. There's a cool printed element. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff here, but I'm not going to I'm not going to spend too much time on it since we do have a lot more to look through. Here's another cool element, that Spider-Man piece there. And yeah, YouTube Compression's going to like this. Before we get into the vintage stuff, I should mention oh, forgot about this golden Indiana Jones chest. That's a cool piece. Look at that. I forgot, or I didn't show off, well, I think I should show off this, the rarest Lego thing I've ever found, and it is a Dark Trooper, wow, it is really not liking to focus on that, a Shadow ARF Trooper torso. If you didn't know, that's a super rare 2009 or 2011 Lego promotional gift with purchase from May the 4th, and it has become super rare now, that torso being, I believe, $200 per. So that's pretty cool. I was hoping I'd find the helmet in the lot. I didn't. If I could have completed a Dark Trooper, or sorry, a Shadow ARF Trooper, I would have gone mad, but this having the torso is really cool as well, and I have him on just custom, like, Clone Trooper with a cool cape, cool haircut, and a blaster. Very cool. Moving on to the vintage parts. We just have some interesting vintage parts here. Here's a pretty rare sword from Bionicle. I believe it's about $3, $4, $5 per, or yeah, for that one sword. There's some big pieces like this. You still find these, but they're a bit rarer. This is really cool. This goes to like a medieval horse. There's these weird looking pieces that have also appeared on Luke's land speeders throughout the years. Very cool there. Some old fire hose. I believe the hose is actually on the end of it, yes. These rocket ship pieces, which are very, very cool and very fun to find. These big feet from some type of walker, I'm guessing, or space thing. I believe it was a Mars mission set that had those as well. So that's cool. Faucet piece from, I believe, a Homemaker set or some other older set. There's this bar piece, which I think went to a Western set, if I'm remembering correctly. A surfboard, which is cool. There's some turntables here, black, or this is a black one. There's a red one. There's also a light gray one right here, and I believe that's all the colors that I have. But there's a trash can. That's an interesting thing to put in here. Some walls to a castle, and these, which I do have, I believe, in black and white as well. Here's the white one. I think the black's actually on a set right now, which are very nice space pieces. Some more cool pieces, these engines or whatever you would like to call them. And then there are just some, this goes to a Blacktron set as well. This is a cool piece. Or actually, I think it goes not to a Blacktron set, but to a medieval set. I believe it is the Wizards thing. I forget exactly what it was called, but it's a pretty cool set. Some other cool things, these Jack Stone pieces, which I have separated here. Don't know why this flags with that. But these are some big Jack Stone pieces. They connect just by putting them on the rod there. And then we have these ones which also connect to those. This orange crate, which I thought was interesting, I guess. And this large Jack Stone windshield. We'll see another one of those similar to this in a little while. But this is a pretty cool piece. These came from the airport, or whatever you call it, set. I also got one of the figures from that. He's a crewman. He's pretty cool as well. Oh, forgot about this. Saw that out of the corner of my eye. Very cool old door. Anyway, let's get on to the printed elements, which I think are pretty interesting. Before we get into that, though, we have a chrome piece here, which I do have in a bag so the chrome doesn't get all messed up. This is just a sprue for these old coins. And probably the most expensive piece that I have, this, or second most expensive, we saw that ARF Trooper torso earlier, but this is a very good condition, Blacktron brick, or plate, I should say, that went on a very cool set, or tile. It's not even a plate, it's a tile. I can't speak, but it's worth $20 for one of these in good condition. And mine is in pretty good condition. You can obviously see some scratching, but that's a rare part, and I didn't even know it was rare. I just got it, and that basically paid for everything. Although I'm not selling it, so it doesn't really pay for it. You know what I mean. In the printed parts category, we have some interesting stuff. Some pretty common pieces. That's a cool car piece. There's like this old Space Police tile. I believe there's another cool Space Police related tile there. Ronald McDonald. I forgot I had that brick. I don't have the Grimace one. I need the Grimace one. There's some Exxon stuff. I do have parts of an Exxon American exclusive truck. Trying to complete that one. It's a really cool set. Old embossed, which if you don't know what that means, this is actually inset into the brick, so it's not flat. You can kind of hear the sound of it there. This piece, which is also a pretty cool space, I think, piece there. There's one of those ducks. These are both McDonald's related. I have another one in here. I don't know if I'll be able to find it easily. Let's see if I can just do an overview and see it. Here, there we go. The dog. I actually have two of these, and I have the complete set from that one. But anyway, there's some cool pieces. That's a racer, race car piece. I believe this. No, there's another one with a white. Here we go. This race car piece as well. Here's the blue one, and there's a 3 in, what was it, red, that I don't think I have. I may have it, but I don't think I do. Oh, here's another one of these guys. But yeah, this is my favorite thing to do. Oh, there's 3 of them. I didn't know there were that many. But they're pretty cool. I quite like them, and I do hope to get all of them someday and complete their sets, including the Grimace one, which is going to be my favorite. Now this is cool. This is an NBA piece from the old NBA series, which is the basketball series. I don't have any figures from that, but I do really like the sets from that theme. Here's a boat. That's a cool piece. I like that. And finally, or I guess not finally, but one of the coolest things, this M-Tron front to a ship, spaceship. That's very cool. We also get some errors to some classic space sets. And this windshield, which, as I talked about earlier, goes to that same Jack Stone set. Here's another printed piece, which I don't know what it's from. I think I looked it up once and I figured it out. It is Lego. It has that weird hole in the bottom, but it's a pretty cool piece. I quite like it. So, yeah, oh, this cool piece as well. That's kind of cool. Anyway, let's get on to the final, I guess, analysis of all this. I don't know why I said analysis, but I just want to do a final overview. I have some cool pieces here. I really like getting cool pieces. That's one of my favorite things to do. Look for all the cool pieces that you can find in here. And yeah, I like my vintage collection especially. Vintage Lego is my favorite thing to do and get. And as you can see, I don't have as much of it because it's a little bit harder to find, but I do think it's all pretty cool. Also, why is this piece in here? That's a cool piece, though. I like that piece. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. I do hope you enjoyed looking at all this cool stuff. I obviously spent a little bit more time on the vintage stuff. As I have a lot less of it, it's easier to wrap your head around. But there are some cool things here. Here's an old door to space, or not a spaceship, but a vehicle. We do have two of these, which actually, are those the adjoining ones? Yeah, I managed to get those. Those are from different halls, if you were wondering. And that is a Toy Story set. But anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. I shall see you next time, where we'll be looking at, I believe, a Lego Castle set, a 3-in-1. I really like the 3-in-1s, so I do hope you enjoy that. This is a bit different of a video, but if you did like it, maybe I'll do it with some other stuff. Maybe I'll just show off all my vintage parts in a single video. That could be interesting. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.